So we're going there. Good afternoon. Welcome to Beaufort County Transportation Committee meeting of November 19th, 2025. In accordance to Robert's rules, I need to make an adjustment to our agenda, and before we start the meeting, I'd like to have a motion to add one item under new business called Somerset Point HOA. I need a motion and a second to do such.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. We'll now proceed. I think I've informed some of you that Chris has been with family and will be with family for over, I guess, a 2-week period. So Rusty has done yeomanship above and beyond the call of duty, helping put the packet together and everything else. So I appreciate everybody's understanding to the tardiness and everything else. We've been playing a little shorthanded over the last week, but Rusty gets a giant attaboy, so thank you so much. I will go ahead and call to order, and I will call all those. Craig Gordon, present. Art Hanman.
Here.
Craig Forrest.
Here.
Jim Backer.
Here.
Charles Perry.
Here.
Virginia Kozak.
Here.
Clarence Daniel.
Here.
Paul Manning.
Here.
John Glover has an excused absence, and Tim Newman was with his doctor in Savannah and wasn't sure what time he might show up for the meeting, and David Johnson.
Here.
We have a quorum. Let's go around the room and introduce everybody. Pam?
An assistant to a chair.
I want to ask everybody to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. But before we have the Pledge of Allegiance, I have something that occurred and it really took me by heart. Those of us that have been committee members for some time, one of the original committee members starting in 2016 was a gentleman by Joe Stroman. And Joe was a very dear friend, him and his wife, and unfortunately, Joe hung up his tools and went on to meet his master over the weekend. So I'd ask for just take a few silent moments in Joe's honor. Thank you. Our flag, left front. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
That always reminds, just a brief, funny story. At LCOG, where I was planning director for a long time, we had a flag, and it was always on one side of the meeting room. And then we got new cleaning people. They moved it to the other side, and nobody really noticed it. We had the board all standing up. We were all turned to the direction where it had always been. And that was it. You get into the, so whenever I see one, I always.
Pledge allegiance to the wall. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, it's like finally, about halfway through, somebody goes, the flag's over there.
Okay, item 3 is public comment to agenda items only. Is there any public comment to be held? Seeing and hearing none, we can move on. Approval of minutes for September 17th, 2025. I know that just came out today. If there's any questions,
So moved.
do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. To help Chris, did you take by chance who made the motion and seconded it? Rusty?
I did not catch, I just wrote it.
Thank you. Okay, next item is old business, and as would have it, Tracy is tied up all week in doing walkthroughs, and he sent over his slides for us, and I'm going to try to walk through them for us. He's tried to improve them a little bit. Land's End is first. Yep. Blythe, and it is completed. And everything, the punch list is to be completed by the end of November. Next contract is Islands Causeway. I don't get over there very often to either one of these, so you all that live in this area, I'm sure you've seen the work being executed. Again, it's to be done by the end of November 2025 for the punch list. The next item is pavement markings. It's completed, and it's been turned over back to the district for final completion. Charleston Highway is the next item up. Those who've seen this in the newspaper, Bellamy Curve has taken quite a bit of popularity recently with the curve and cars that wind up in the marsh and everything.
Only,
And so they are working with Shannon Erickson along with DOT to try to make the markings better for the turn on Bellamy. But it's also Charleston Highway, and that work is to be completed by the end of November.
her husband's office is right across the street there.
Oh, really?
Yes.
There's no politics involved. Land's End Road is next. Contractor has completed all work, and punch list items will be compiled and worked. Island Causeway, the other section that was completed by APAC. All punch lists will be completed by the end of November 30th. This was the next item's traffic signals project. That was a project that was started by DOT, and DOT statewide went through and looked at areas where they could change traffic signals and make the sidewalk entrances and passageways much more safe. And these were supposed to be completed by the end of December. Next item is Beaufort Jasper rehab and reconstruction, of which our projects is a total of 7.5 miles. It's not going to be done to February 2027. Part of that, I understand, is because of not being able to prosecute work before the Heritage and trying to work it into the schedule around the Heritage and the summer tourist season. So with 278 being 3.5 miles or so of it, that takes a good portion of it. So the next 3 slides is Fording Island, Castle Hall Road, and Detour Road. Next slide is First Boulevard and Spanish Point, and he doesn't have anything on it. I don't know what to say about it.
What
Old
are they actually doing there?
resurfacing is what is being done. Old Shell Point Road sidewalk improvement. Jenny, I said I would talk to you a little bit about that, and I'll talk about that during the meeting so that it's kind of on record.
Okay.
There has been a number of emails gone back and forth. The history in this is by the Naval Hospital, and it goes back about 6 years whenever the CTC first approved the funds for it. It was quite a fight going back and forth with the town of Port Royal at the time. And what basically happened was We provided the funding and was turned over for work, and it ran into the Navy. And the Navy pretty much did a good job of stopping it in its tracks. Then it got turned, when they ran into the Navy, they said, okay, this project was being done by DOT in the first place. And so, as it turns out, DOT couldn't get it done, had problems getting it done, and they basically said, okay, we'll fund the project. And so we got our $200,000 back that we had contributed to the project, and it costs them more than $500,000 to complete the work. I see head shaking, but that's the fact. That's what happened. So the project has been done. They've sent emails back and forth, and I'm going to ask you, Jenny, I'll notify you in advance to wear your black
I will.
shirt, and I'll ask you to go to the ribbon cutting ceremony representing us, since that's your
I'll put the
district.
shirt out so I don't decide that there's another color that I like better or something.
Well, that's in your district, so I think it'd be only
Yeah.
appropriate that you should attend the meeting on our behalf.
And I will take my cynical face off that day, because
And your badge.
I live near enough there that,
So that's the history and background of what's going on with it. The last page is the Beaufort County project summary. So it gives us a real good summary of all the projects that are coming up in the future that haven't been closed out yet. So that being said and done, are there any questions on DOT's list? Okay.
one little bit of cynicism about the Bellamy Curve thing. I've lived here 33 or 34 years now, and there've only been 2 cars that have gone over in that whole time. And there was one that was kind of spectacular, I guess, and it got everybody's attention. Whereas people slow down and don't do stupid things, and that's,
Got it.
I just wanted you to know that it wasn't some hugely dangerous with 20 cars going off or something. I think 2 over 30-some years is really not.
Okay. Rusty, you're up now, my friend.
Rate resurfacing preservation. The SCDOT routes are complete. We're just waiting on Blythe to finish up some punch list items, and once we're done with that, we can get that encroachment permit closed out. And the Beaufort County roads are approximately 8 roads left to finish. Last progress meeting, we had about 8 roads left. Weather permitting and anticipating any completion date by December 8th, Blythe is going to be shutting down for several weeks for maintenance.
So your hope is to be done?
That's my hope, is to be done by the 8th when they shut down.
Okay.
When I spoke to him last, he said about 8 roads left, so hopefully we can be done.
Any questions for Rusty? Hilton Head Bridge update. Jared isn't here, and
Jared had a meeting with the administrator and couldn't make it. Since the last meeting, not really a lot has transpired. So there was a public meeting 2-3 weeks ago in Hilton Head where the DOT came down and presented. Jared was at that meeting. We have not heard back about the grant award yet, partially due to the government shutdown. So still waiting on direction from that. The updated agreement with the SIB was passed at PFC on Monday and will go to council at the next council meeting. And that is really the most recent updates that we have, so.
Charles, did you happen to attend the DOT meeting by
I did.
anything that you'd like to report?
Yeah, I think there's it's just a general observation. There's a risk of confusion that exists because the grant award is still pending, or the grant request is still pending. And the meeting gave the impression to me that the project was, full speed ahead. for the eastbound only option. Now, I think that's not to say that anything's wrong or bad, but I think it does run a risk that the public could be confused because it was not emphasized, it was mentioned that the grant was still pending, grant application was still pending, but it was really not dwelled on at all. So whatever happened can get, it may have to get undone and retooled, if you will, if the grant application comes through. But since they said it was about a 10% chance from the get-go, I doubt very seriously that that's going to be a huge problem. But there is that situation.
My conversation with Craig Wynn was pretty much, it's on schedule, and it's on schedule, the schedule I sent to you and Craig.
Yes.
It's pretty much on schedule with that, and they are primarily focused strictly on the portion that's in Beaufort County and has
Yeah.
nothing to do with what's on the town of Hilton Head.
There is another point of confusion too, and that is that the schedule that you distributed indicated that they were going to go through and modify the environmental assessment. And that's not what they're going to do. They're trying to get a categorical exclusion from Federal Highway Administration, which is completely different than carrying on with the EA that they presently have on the street. I think all of that's probably lost unless you're kind of a NEPA geek and actually looked at some of that stuff. I don't think anybody understands that, honestly, but there's not going to be the traditional consideration given through an EA or an EIS that would normally take place. It's going to go, if it goes as they think it's going to go through a categorical. It's a fairly significant difference in terms of public participation and also in terms of the time that it will take to accomplish what's going to happen. And from a time perspective, I think that it's good because I don't think the county or the communities involved can delay much longer for the replacement of the Mackey Creek Bridge.
Mackey Creek's in bad shape.
That is the driver, and still have an open invitation if anybody wants to see under the Mackey Creek Bridge and see what it looks like. I'll be glad to take you. It's sometimes worth your while to look and actually see what it looks like because you will I think second the necessity of moving forward pretty quickly if you see what's actually under there and how it's being.
Unfortunately, you just stepped up to the plate because I just wrote down, you're going to have some slides for us for the next meeting, so you can show us the latest pictures.
I'll take the pictures. I'm not sure I'm technically confident enough to convert them to slides, but I'll get the pictures.
You get the pictures, we'll get them.
Yeah, they can be converted to a.
We'll get them converted.
If that had been built when it was supposed to, when the original financing came through, just replacing that bridge, there wouldn't be the danger for, if people saw it, they'd probably stop driving to.
I mean, shoulda, woulda, coulda, I guess is the way that we look at that.
Yeah.
We are where we are as a community now, and we have to deal with what we have.
Yeah.
And so I don't see any, the longer you delay, the more problematic the thing could become. And if it's load limited, it's going to be a.
Just to clarify, so what you're saying is that the schedule and the funding is there for the one bridge replacement. What they're talking about is getting a determination on the feds for the bigger thing,
Yeah.
which would be the
whole project.
the whole thing.
Correct.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
called, just to get the nomenclature down, one is called 278 Corridor Project, and that's what the grant funding would go to. This is the eastbound replacement bridge project. And the term replacement bridge is important because the categorical exclusion for the Federal Highway Administration contemplates that you can use the exclusion for replacements of an existing structure. And so that's what they're doing. They're replacing the existing structure for the Mackey Creek.
And it was under the whole emphasis by the federal government to replace bridges in the U.S. that were,
And in South Carolina, we have that problem.
yeah. And so that's why it is dangerous, sort of.
Sure. Thank you.
I think that number is not as large as you might think it is, because I think there were only 2 bridges in Beaufort County, and I think there's only 40 across the state that were in the severe category. It wasn't as large a number as you might perceive.
I've seen high numbers upstate, because they're older.
Yeah. And the
They're 80
majority
years
is
old and stuff like that.
The majority is in the upstate. Okay, we'll move along to new business. SCDOT secondary roads 0 to 500 ADT and 500 to 2,000 ADT.
AMT has the years 2 and 4 submitted for the DOT encroachment permits. We're waiting on clarification for some of the new directives that the DOT has put out for guidelines on the CTC. And once we receive those changes from AMT, we'll get that through and get it out for bid.
As a clarification, at the last meeting, we put out a directive that DOT had put out. They talked about widening roads and small secondary routes and so on. And I went to DOT, Rusty and I talked about this. I went to DOT and talked to Chad about it. And I said, this doesn't make a bit of sense, because we're talking roads that have low ADT on them. Why are we worrying about sidewalks? Why are we worrying about widening them? Why aren't we taking care of them? And his comment back to me, it took 2 days, and he came back and he said, essentially, Craig, what's going on is we have one district out of the 7 districts that has kind of a different look of things, and we're trying to rein them in. So we put the document out as a means of trying to provide them guidance. But the whole idea is that if we have a sidewalk next to a street that has a low ADT, we're talking less than 500 and 500 to 2,000. If you have a sidewalk and they do not meet the ADA requirements, it's your responsibility to fix that. Well, I said, that makes sense, but why are we widening roads that have low ADT? And he says, you don't have to be doing that. So I've had the discussion also with AMT, as Rusty and I both have, and the hope is that AMT will get these through the encroachment permit, and we can get these out to bid. We need to get moving on the projects because they have to be done by the end of June. So there's some emphasis behind this to keep things moving. Is that a good summary, Brian and Rusty?
Yeah, I think that captures everything.
Okay, any questions? All right, that's item A. Item B, Beaufort County resurfacing year 9 update.
The Beaufort County resurfacing package is ready to be submitted for a bid. Approximately 56 roads, 9.3 miles, and
You'll see that on the next slide. We're going to go to preservation. These are the, go ahead, Rusty.
Next slide is it's the Beaufort County and Beaufort and Ladies Island roads that are getting rejuvenated. You can notice the ones with the asterisks, those are the ones that are doing the titanium dioxide. Sorry.
As a reminder, do you all remember about the titanium dioxide? We talked at our meeting about it and how it's supposed to capture exhaust fumes and nitrogen and suck it into the asphalt and make it the air that we breathe better from less pollutant being emitted by cars.
Everything good there?
We had everybody had Rusty kind of break those out in a fashion so you could see by the different municipalities where we're doing the work, as in Bluffton and Hilton Head.
And the next one is, this one's the Bluffton area. Slide is the Hilton Head area.
And where we're at now on this topic is 49 are reclamite and 20 are titanium dioxide. The contract is for a total dollar amount is $341,247.55. I'd like to have a motion for approval of the contract. Second?
Second.
Any conversation or any discussion on it? Here. Any questions, additional questions of Rusty? Microsurfacing. We didn't
The
get-
funding came through for the titanium dioxide? Hasn't, okay.
We did. And the next item is microsurfacing. Do we ever get the bid amount?
I received that bid today, and I honestly haven't had time to vet it completely. I did give you the numbers there on the next slide. That's the cost they gave me, but I had some questions for him. So I don't, if you don't want to vote on that tonight, or if you want to give me a preliminary and we could talk about it in January.
What I would like to do is go ahead and get it approved. And what we can do is, I would ask then the committee give the chairman, treasurer, as we have it as part of our transportation plan, to ask for us to bounce it back off the three of us, rather than trying to wait to January for the next meeting. So if we get it approved, then we will basically, after Rusty's had a chance to review it, he'll get the numbers back to the three of us and for our final approval then. Yes, Dave?
We'll just add in, we haven't had a chance to review.
RPMs.
Striping and things like that. So I don't.
You want to put a condition on it that is something like given that the,
Less than 5%?
something like that, because you want
Yeah.
to protect yourselves
Yes,
just in case.
yeah. Make it, so that's the motion, kind of the motion I'm looking for.
Sorry, Craig, can I?
Yes,
The last, the one before this, we had a motion, we had a second, we didn't actually vote.
Didn't actually vote.
sorry about that. Got tied up in other thoughts.
Okay, yeah, no, I just wanted to make
All
sure.
those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you for,
Yeah, okay, yep.
microsurfacing. Do I have a motion? And that's with the 5% condition with it, and it still comes back to the three of us giving us final approval on it. Do I have a second? Okay. Discussion? Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye, motion carries. Okay. The item that I added to our agenda was a topic of discussion at the past public facilities meeting this past Monday. And it was bannered for discussion, and while it was up for discussion, one of the points that was made is that the topic hadn't first come to the CTC for review, and our comments go to the Public Facilities Committee. What is going on is that Somerset Point is on Ladies Island, And basically, the homeowners association came to the board wanting to turn over a series of streets that is in the homeowners association's governance, is the right way to describe it. And so they were trying to have the county take over a series of streets. And I'm sorry, the document, I'll pass this around for everybody to see. Part of the subdivision was previously taken in as a county road, but I go back and looked at 2015. From that point on, those roads were in the county's control, and the roads that they're asking for to be brought in are in a homeowners association. And it struck me, and this is why this is up for discussion and a vote, it struck me very unique that we would be wanting to take roads into our control and our oversight that are in a subdivision that's governed by a homeowners association. It's like Kalawasi or Beaufort, or whether you're a gated community or not. The way that the document was written in our transportation plan, and you all just looked at it again this past year and had a revision done to it, we talked about the fact that really the idea behind where we were visualizing it is that we would have dirt roads that would be not county-owned, and we would go in, maybe resurface them, and then we would have them, since they're brought to county standard, they could be brought into the county's network at that point in time. But it didn't talk about the vision wasn't talking about taking roads that are paved and in governed by a homeowners association to take it under our control, the county's control. So the discussion is that we'll make a recommendation to the Public Facilities Committee based upon what the discussion turns out today on what we recommend, whether we want to take, and there's about, how many miles is it, Brian? 0.95 miles of subdivision roads into the county's control and maintenance. So we would have the maintenance issues of it, drainage issues taken care of, all the other items that go along with it. I open it up for discussion. Craig?
Has Somerset Point petitioned the county to take over these roads?
Yes.
Is it normal practice that when the county gets a position to take over a private road or whatever kind of road it is, it comes before the Transportation Committee to give a recommendation to the county?
Yes.
I must have been asleep all these years because I don't remember it, but that's okay. What is county engineering's position on this?
So, party inspections that were done when the roads were constructed.
The idea behind it is 5 of the county council members, and that's all that were there, all were against it. So I provide that to you also as background.
Follow-up question, you were talking about another set of roads that are, I guess, associated with Somerset Point.
Correct.
That have always been county roads?
They were taken into county roads when the subdivision was being developed. So they were county roads from the beginning.
From
They-
the development to.
And they
now.
are not in a homeowners association. That grouping is not in a homeowners association. This grouping is in a homeowners association that has the responsibility of maintaining the roads.
Question is, there are a lot of private homeowners associations in Beaufort County. I don't know how many, and I don't really, but my question is really, how many of those that are in existence have county maintenance or county-owned roads that are maintained by the county?
I would venture a guess, 0.
I would say it's not 0. I don't know the exact number, but so now the taking of private roads in is governed by policy statement 15 and 17, which are on the CTC website and the county website. Prior to those, though, all that had to be done to take a road into the county system was for the developer to do it on their plat or their deed, say, I deed these roads to Beaufort County. So previously, going back to the 90s, there was a lot of roads that were taken into the county system that were in subdivisions or neighborhoods just because of that, process of just deeding a road over. Because of that was happening, that's when policy statement 15 and 17 were created that outlines the process to bring roads in. And that takes a petition of the HOA or of a majority of the residents of that road, and then it has to be brought to council for approval with a estimate from staff of what the maintenance costs would be for those roads. So it's in the policy that it has to be approved by county council now, so.
As history is, I think 15 was written in 2010. Policy, was it 2010 or 2012?
2010 or 2012 sounds right, but I don't know.
And I can dig it out, but that's the timing, and that was when they had drainage issues as well, and neighborhoods were trying to force the county to come in and maintain drainage areas and so on private roads, as well as roads that weren't county-owned. And they address the ability for the county to get on these roads completely. It's, and to open up a box that we talked about the last time here, it goes back again to the private road routine and the discussion of private roads. And the reality is, it's in the homeowners association, it's in their interest to get the road responsibility off of them and turn it over to us to maintain. And our cost to maintain it, well, it's to resurface is roughly a mile of road is about $1 million. So is that something that we want to take over the responsibility for instead of having it's sheet 2072, by the way, Clarence, since you're looking at it.
In the 20-year maintenance costs for
72.
the CTC, it was funded that we estimate.
So it's non-gated?
Non-gated.
No, non-gated.
Non-gated.
And the inspection you referred to, is that done at all the developments? Because
That is up to the developer themselves. Inspection, this was a third-party inspection paid for by the developer. But we have those testing
I live
reports.
in a development that the roads were inspected, and, yeah, they're not
Yes.
really up to standard.
That's great.
I mean, if one is approved,
It opens
you
Pandora's.
can bet, I mean, it's only natural that every other, why pay those $1 million a year and,
Son said he's got 120 miles or something
I
like
don't,
Yes.
I mean, I
Yes,
don't live
Craig.
in one, but I own property in one, it's a small one.
It's nice that these roads meet county standards.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. is there a question that needs to be asked? Did these roads perform a county function?
No.
I think I heard in the background, and you know how I love to hear this, that this is CTC money in the future?
Yes. That's if we take it in the system.
Yeah.
It becomes our money to spend on maintaining the road in the future.
Well, you know, the
And Katie-
precedent that would be set, as soon as I get home, I'm going to my roll-top desk and writing a letter to the Sun City Community Association and asking if they'd like to transfer 90 miles of road.
150, Tab's watching it. She called me earlier today, she was sick, and she was going to be at today's meeting, but she said, well, in Sun City, we have 150 miles of road we'll turn over.
Well, I think that's a little
Some of it's in
inflated, but, you know. But who knows? But
The point still remains, it provides no public service other than for the residents of that neighborhood.
well, the decision seems obvious to me.
There's also the issue that I don't know about all of the communities in this area, but there are a lot that haven't budgeted enough. And suddenly the piper is going to have to be paid, and so that's why, oh, we got a great idea. And, I mean, I'm going to call the HOA I belong to and say, hey, no, I'm not, I'm just kidding. I'm like Craig saying, going to do that. But, you know, I wouldn't mind not having my rates go up again, and
For point of record, the CTC has taken issues in the past with bringing private roads into the county network. And the difference was, it was probably no more than 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, when it first showed up in our documents about what has to be done to bring it into the county network. And these don't meet that criteria. I'm open for a motion.
I would move that we reject the request made by the not fund, or that we would recommend not funding, not taking those roads into the
Our system.
county system.
I'll gladly second the motion.
probably everybody would second.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item up is number 7 is Treasurer's Report.
This is last month, isn't it, Rusty? That up there, everybody, we've got our,
That's the small one that was there, I gave her.
yeah, so this is the old one. The one you've got up is the old one, I think. The new one you sent, everybody's got in there, so the key number here, I think, is 12,261,333. Have you got this cheat sheet here inside your, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, no, it's September. That's what, I know you updated it, so thank you. I just was letting you know that the one on the screen is September's, and this is one you updated, is in our package.
Okay. I wonder if I missed that one.
It's all right. No, you had it, you got it right. So I think that, like I said, the key number here is what's available, which is 12,261,333.01.
And so if you look at what we did today, we passed $371,000 for reclamite. The next number was $700,000 for rough round numbers for resurfacing, and now we have the 0 to 500 ADT and 500 to 2,000 ADT, and those will be some larger numbers whenever they get added to. So we probably will be chumping off $4 or $5 million out of that $12 million.
When does it have to get spent by?
It doesn't have to be
Doesn't
spent
have to
by.
be. It's not
No,
required. Good.
as long as we don't maintain greater than 300% above our annual amount. So our annual amount is roughly $2.7 million, so we can't have 3 times that. 9 million. That's by regulation, that's state regulation. Any further questions for the treasurer? Okay. There was nobody here for public comment before. Seen nobody here still for public comment. My comments are 2 quick comments. I don't know if you saw my interview with the guy, Bob Stevens, yes. I was on for an interview. It lasted about 7 or 8 minutes. I think it came off quite well. In fact, it came off to the point that he was so interested in the CTC that he says he wants to have us back for another go-around. Last week, I was in and interviewed by the county channel, and again, trying to draw light to the work that this committee does. And so I think if you heard, I very much gave praise to the committee and the fine work that everybody does. And I thank you for that, and thank you for all the support. Next month's meeting will be back in council chambers. No more coming to TCL. January's meeting, our next meeting. So is there any other discussion to be brought up?
Could you send us links to those interviews so we could?
I'll try to do
Yeah,
that.
somebody must have it,
Yeah,
because that'd be interesting. Also, so we can make sure to keep the company line going.
absolutely. Be glad to. See no other business to come before us, meeting adjourned.